Hello everybody, Tyranno here, and welcome back to the patch 1.49 dev server. In this episode I'll be looking at tanks that have been added in patch 1.49. Now I should warn, this was all recorded in one chunk and split into separate episodes, so it may come as a bit incoherent, or I may reference the things I haven't actually said. There also does seem to be occasional stuttering of sound. I don't know how to fix that, it just seems to be happening for some reason, but anyway, that's the introduction over. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Now, the other thing everyone's looking at, or looking forward to looking at, is the American tank destroyers. Now, again, I can't really test a lot of these, but I can test some of them. We'll start off the M2A2, which is already unlocked. We'll quickly customise it. It's even bought, I think, so one 12.7mm machine gun and a 7.62mm machine guns. I was hoping it would have two 50 caliber machine guns, but apparently not. Now, I've already got a lot of it unlocked as well, so okay, I don't understand this. Now, we've got a bunch of whole new, how do you call it, penetration characteristics. Okay. Well, you can see here the 12.7mm machine gun is quite okay at tier 1. It can penetrate nearly 30mm of armour at tier 1. But you can see how it changes depending on the angle. That wasn't there before, so 10 metres, 28mm at 0 degrees. At 60, that's halved, or more than halved, to 13mm. Armour, we'll look at the armour. Again, quite good armour. Well, actually it's not very good armour, but it's sloped, so here it's 30mm, that's okay. The turrets themselves, 20mm roughly, they're not great if I'm honest. Crew, 4 crew, 2 gunners, or a gunner, commander, and driver and machine gunner. I don't think that machine gun down here actually works. Unfortunately, increased firepower by a third, considering one's already a 7.62mm machine gun. Now we'll look at the 75mm GMC as well quickly. Again, just the cannon, no actual machine gun. Armour again is very bad. The gun shield's like 12mm. It might block the odd stray bullet. You know, you're not here. It's about 50, but you'd have to hit at such a weird slope. You know, most shots are just going to go through that engine bit and kill everything back here. Again, the ammunition's on the floor, like we said. Well, I looked at. It says on the devblog article that it was all on the floor. So, and again, 4 crew: gunner, loader, commander, driver. Now look at the modifications. So again, at 0 degrees, 100 metres, at 10 metres, 112 penetration, at 60 degrees, 27. So this should be okay. I've been using the 30 degree angle, because that seems quite a bit more than what most tanks are actually doing, because this is meant to be slightly worse than the Sherman, but I don't think the Sherman was even this good. With the M61, that's actually got less penetration, but because it's capped, I think it does more damage. Not really sure. Should be an okay tank destroyer for its rank and battle rating. Battle rating 2.3. Yeah, there we go. Now we look at the M10 GMC, the Wolverine, 76mm cannon and a machine gun. We'll look at modifications first. Again, very good penetration, 127mm at 0 degrees at 10 metres, but again 40 at 60 degrees. Yeah, the improved. Yeah, you can go from armor piercing ballistic cap to armor piercing, which increases the penetration. So it should be quite, quite a good tank. We'll look at the armor if we can get it up. Armor's it's okay. It's very lightly armored. It should be able to take 1 or 2 shots from low caliber weapons, but it's not something that can stick around and fight toe to toe with most other tanks. Even the Mantlet's like maxed out at 80. It's got a little bit of sloping, but hardly worth mentioning. It's an open top turret, so you can machine gun it with aircraft. 5 crew: driver, machine gunner, commander, gunner, and loader. Gunner's all stooped down in some odd position. Check the next tank, the M18 GMC, or otherwise known as the Hellcat. Again, check the modifications. 76mm gun again. Oh, it can upgrade to armor-piercing composite rigid, so 240mm of penetration at 10 meters at 0 degrees, or at 60, 53. So, again, depending on how well sloped the armor is. The stock shell's 127mm at 10 meters, or 40 at 60 degrees at 10 meters. Check the armor. Again, I think it's actually worse than the Wolverine. But let's look. Again, even with sloping, it barely maxes out at 20 odd millimeters on the hull. Mantlets at 38. You know, it's not very good armor. But again, it's meant to be a shoot and scoot tank, 50 miles per hour max speed. So, you know, very fast, meant to sort of hit and run targets. Again, it's got no actual turret roof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 crew again. One huge engine at the back. Gunner, loader, commander, command. Oh, the machine gunner's at the top and the commander's down the bottom. Oh, that's a bit odd, or different. I believe they're actually going to have the machine gunner showing up as well. At the moment, they're just sort of firing visibly. We'll look at the M36. We'll come back to the Black Cat in a minute. Look at the M36 Jackson. Now, the armor's improved, but it's also a higher battle rating and tier, so, you know, that improvement's basically wiped out straight away. The mantlet's a bit better, about 80mm, or 100, depending where you hit. But again, it's not all that great. Commander, gunner, loader, machine gunner, driver again. Some of the ammunition's been quite exposed on the top of the Jackson, in this little compartment here. Look at the armour for the back, actually. Oh, that bit's only 25mm. Yeah, you're going to be ammo racked quite easily. It's got some tracks on the side, which may block 1 or 2 shots. Now, this has a 90mm gun, so stock ammo 188mm at 0 degrees, 100 meters, or 60 at 100 meters, 60 degrees. Can upgrade to composite rigid, which gives a 302mm penetration, 100 meters, 0 degrees, or 67 at 100 meters, 60 degrees. Now, last one, T95. Hull armour and turret armour at the front, 300mm. Oh, God. Let's look at the gun first, because I haven't actually been able to find penetration stats for this. At 100 meters, 0 degrees, 248mm, or 70 at 60 degrees. Or with the composite rigid shell, 322mm penetration at 0 degrees, or 60 degrees for 100 meters. Okay, that's gonna... Wait, let me just check the mouse. 300mm. I will go back to the T95. Okay, the mouse is going to be completely destroyed. Right, so now that we've established that, let's go back to the T95. I did read that right, didn't I? 300mm. Yeah, 300mm. And armor. Oh God, it's not really. Oh, actually, it's sloped on the sides a little bit, up to 400mm. The mantlet's 291mm, but effectively 300 something. Oh God. Right, from the side. Now the actual... Oh, it's quite well sloped, actually. Down the bottom it's something like 100mm, but at the top it's only 60, because the sloping is nearly 100. So that could do a little bit better than I expected. The back's 50, so just... No, that's just not going to protect you. Where's all the crew in this? I mean, what? It's just that engine that's taking up the whole back. Oh, and that huge cannon breech. There's 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 4 crew, driver, gunner, commander, loader. Ammunition all up the side, so if you do get penetrated, you are going to die. Is there any information? No. Right, we'll go... Now, this has 4 tracks. I believe the T28 is only going to get 2. Battle rating 6.7. I don't know if that's a placeholder or not. But yeah, that's going to be very overpowered. Quickly look at the T28. Now, the T28 is going to be battle rating 6.3, so lower than the T95, and it's going to be tier 4, because I was wondering if they was going to put it at tier 5, which they haven't done with premiums. We can actually test drive this one, so I'll quickly do that in a minute. Again, it's narrower, because it's got some of the tracks taken off. I don't think there's any other difference other than that. You know, it's narrower, so it can fit through spaces and all that a bit easier, I suppose. Other than that, it seems basically identical. We'll take it out for a really quick test drive on realistic battles. No, we can't fit the other ammunition, unfortunately. So here we are in the is this a T28, that was it? Commander view. So the driver view is quite a bit above the gun, which seems a bit odd. Oh, you're probably looking through that bit at the top. Let's just test it against the first target, and then we test the speed while we're going. Oh, if I miss this. Wow, okay, that was good. Well done. Let's test the speed quickly. It's slow, but not as slow as I thought it would be. This is on realistic, I think. Oh, actually, turning is kind of... It's slow, but not as slow as I thought it would be. I do apologise for the shadows in the distance. I don't know if it was the update or something, but my settings all got changed again. Which always seems to happen, like, when they do certain updates. But, there we go. We'll test fire another shot. Can we hit that target all the way back there? Yep. Oh, they seem to have changed the damn well. I don't know. Test reverse speed quickly. Right, 2 miles an hour. Okay, that's quite bad. We'll do one more test shot against this Panzer II, and then we'll check out the M18 Black Cat. Oh, that does. Actually, before we leave the test server, I haven't tested this against the mouse. Shot 1 bounced. I may have to pause this a little bit every now and then just to see, you know, how it goes. Because it's going to take a long time. We're actually shooting at a very dodgy angle, so I'll just sort of pause the video or stop talking to show you the highlights of, you know, if I manage to penetrate or not. Taking another shot. Well, we managed to hit the track. Right, so here we are at the sides of the Panther, the mouse. Almost dead on. And it's just not going through. I'm going to try a shot or two from the rear, because this is just ridiculous. I mean, even point blank, this thing's struggling like hell to get through the armour. I don't think I've had one penetrating shot so far. But I'll keep trying. Right, so trying a shot right from the back. Finally, from the rear, I've managed a penetration at point blank range, but the sides and the front, no chance, not with stock ammunition. It took me a bloody long time to get up here as well. That took me nearly 5 minutes just to drive up here. It takes like 1 in most other tanks. While I'm up here, just see if I can hit this Panther D. Yep, got it, just about. So, yeah, there's the T95. Not particularly great against enemy mouses, if I'm completely honest. Nice little tank, but I really wouldn't, at first, be worried about it still clubbing everything. Well, you know, not mouses at least, until it gets the upgraded ammunition. Now, look at the Black Cat, which, as you can see, is a bit different in that it doesn't have a muzzle brake, and I can't remember if it has side skirts or not. See when it loads up. Or check modifications. It's the same gun, I believe. It's the same gun, same ammunition. Oh, it hasn't got the side skirts and it hasn't got a muzzle brake. And it's got the camouflage. Now we'll quickly test drive this really quickly. No, we can't take any other shells. Test out speed, the gun, all that sort of stuff. So here we are, the M16 Black Cat. You can see the machine gunner at the top. Just find the machine gun a little bit. Doesn't really seem to react too much. See if we can hit the Panther at the back again. Okay, wasn't too good there. Let's test out the speed while we reload. Actually, let's try and hit a target on the move. Yeah, right, we're at 27 miles per hour. So, remember we're going to be going slower on mud than roads. We'll work our way over to the road, actually, which is over here. Got fairly fast turret traverse. So, oh, actually, that's really fast. So, it's really fast speed, you know, driving. And it's got a really quick turret. So, yeah, this is going to be a really good ambush tank. Right, let's test it on this road. Ah, it's not a stone road like I hoped it would be. But let's see if it helps a little bit. No, we seem to be maxing out about 27 miles an hour, so... Brakes quickly as well, so... Yeah, it seems like a good little tank destroyer. But, yeah, that's enough testing of that for the minute. We'll test out the T95, oh god, the M3 GMC and the M2A2 quickly as well, just to see how they are. The M2A2 I test is going to be really quick, I suspect, since it's just a machine gun armed tank. Only good for dealing with reserve tier tanks. Check out the 75mm. I was going to test drive. So here we are, the M3 GMC. Fairly, it's a bit slow on the turret traverse, but you know, it's an old cannon. See how fast we can go while firing. Try and take a quick snapshot. Oh, we actually hit the target. So this is still 20 miles an hour. Remember the Hellcat got to 27? In a half track we've got to 24. So the Hellcat speed is definitely going to be on the roads. Did firing the gun just slow us down, or was that just something else? No, it's the gun firing that did that. And it turns fairly quick, so yeah, it seems like a good enough tank destroyer at the moment. It's fast, it's got a good gun. I mean, again, you can't. It's hard to sort of test the gun on the test drive because there's lots of different tanks. It doesn't really replicate the sort of angles you'll be shooting at, like, you know, people angling their tank and stuff. Quickly test drive the M2A2 just to see how it is. I honestly don't think this is... It's going to be an okay tank, but I thought it would have two 50 caliber machine guns. Having just one is seriously going to affect its firepower. I don't even know if the 7.62mm machine gun can penetrate it much. You know, it's not a very good machine gun. I mean, it was never designed to deal with tanks, whereas the 50 caliber could, you know, in the 30s and 20s, probably deal with most tanks quite, you know, well. 50 caliber one's on the right. Now that's the normal machine gun. The 7.62mm machine gun. See how fast we can get. Well, we've already overtaken the Hellcat. Although that had much better armour and weapons, so I think Cat. Okay, we're actually having quite a bit of trouble penetrating this. I may have picked the wrong ammunition loadout though. I think I went with omni-purpose possibly. Although I didn't. I don't think it gave me the option for anything else. No, we did hit something inside and we've set it on fire, so it's not like it's a bad tank, it's just not what I would particularly want when going into battle. Now, I've heard you can penetrate the Panzer IV. But yeah, we penetrate the Panzer IV and hit the gunner, so yeah, so it's still marginally useful against higher tier tanks. I just wouldn't recommend it if I'm honest. Like, you know, it's just to get you to the M3 and then you can just leave it presumably. We also have this new tank here, the M5A1 Stuart 5th Canadian Armoured Division. Basically, it just seems to be an M5A1 Stuart, but with a different paint job, I'm assuming. Yeah, it seems to have its own unique insignia, but other than that, it seems more or less the same, as far as I can tell. So now we've tested out the American tank destroyers, we'll go over to the German tanks. Only one new one, the Ster 42G with the 105mm howitzer. Let me just armour 80, 30, 50. Same armour as the what do you call it? The Stug 3G, which I did say in my devblog article, well, roundup episode. Yeah, basically the same armour. It's only the gun that's really different. 65 at 100 metres at 0 degrees or 16 at 60 degrees. Carries heat with 115mm, two different heat shells, high explosive, 28mm for high explosive. Speed is, what's the speed? I can't find it. 25 miles an hour. Compare that to the Stug 3G. It's the same speed. We'll quickly give it a test drive just to. We can only take out armor piercing, 77 or 65 millimeters penetration. I honestly don't think it's gonna be a really short test drive. There isn't really much I can do with it. I mean, literally the only thing different about it is that gun, and you know, apart from one or two test shots, I can't really test the other. You know, I can't show how good it would be in game in an online match. I mean, I can give you a rough guidance, but really it's going to be the heat shells everyone's going to use, and I can't show them because I haven't unlocked this tank. Test it against... Oh, it's a really low velocity. Oh, great. I mean, it turned out well. It blew up right underneath the T-26. And it's got a ridiculously long reload. Well, maybe not ridiculously long, but... So... Oh, come on. Oh, and that one was just too far. Right, one last shot and then I'll leave it, because there isn't much I can show. I don't think the... Oh, no, the G does, actually. And again, this is Tier 2, I believe, before the Stug 3G. So if you want to get the Stug 3G, I would hurry up and get this. Okay, yeah, it's not particularly great, this tank. I managed to miss again. I mean, it's okay, but it does seem like a really short-ranged weapon. I mean, I just can't use the low-velocity weapons. You saw with the T95, I was quite good there, hit every single one of my shots first time, but that I managed to barely hit the first time. The second and third time I completely missed. Now, we'll quickly look at the Russian new tanks. Now, first I'm looking at the STZ, because this really confused me. As far as I can tell... Well, actually, yeah, go back a sec. Hull armor 60, the one after it's 45 and the one before it's 45, so I assume this is just an up-armoured T-34 tank. I'll go back to preview. I think it's got the same gun as the normal T-34s. Don't know if it's the long-barrelled one. Yeah, it seems to have the same gun. It just has the hull armour up-armoured. That seems to be the only difference I can tell. Yeah, it's had extra armour bolted on. So yeah, there isn't really much to say about this tank. It's the same everywhere, except the front has a bit of bolted on armour. And it's got an F-34 cannon. It's the same as the T-34 1942. Nothing else for this lineup, I don't think. Nothing for the light tanks. Now here we've got an Su-122-54. I think it's a T-54 with a 122mm gun and two 14.5mm machine guns. Okay, right, look at the armour. Okay, that's quite sloped, so 150mm. So it's better than the ISU-152 armour-wise, but still not great. You know, it's still going to be penetrated by everything. It's just, you know, lower caliber weapons are going to be less effective if you happen to be up-tiered, or, you know, your battle rating ends up putting you in a match against this somehow. So armour looks okay. I mean, it's not great. It's better than, like I said, the ISU-152. Now, let's look at the ammunition. Stock's 200mm at 100 metres at 0 degrees, or 49 at 60 degrees, or 159 at 30. Does it come with heat? Heat shell, I have 400mm. Armour piercing discarding sabot shell. I think only the Bulldog has this. 315mm at 0 degrees, or 70 at 60, 246 at 30. The rest are generally less than that. They're like around 200mm, 223. But the discarding sabre and the heat shell are just going to be ridiculously overpowered. I can't test drive it, unfortunately. We'll look inside the tank. Well, ammunition's all over the place. 5 crew, gunner, commander, driver, loader. So, and quick reloading rate, or quick compared to some other tanks, 18.6. So that's going to be really overpowered, I think. I feel sorry for anyone who has to meet up against that. Now, next we've got the 4M Gaz AAA. Yeah, 4 7.62mm machine guns in a truck. I've got to test drive this just to see 1mm armour, 1mm penetration at something like 100 metres. Oh god, I've just got to see how fast this fires. 3 crew, gunner, driver, commander. Really quickly test drive this just to see the speed of it. Alright, let's just see how fast this thing fires. Wow, that is a lot of ammunition. It's got 4,000 bullets. Jesus Christ. This thing's going to be insane, and without it's not a heavy gun. Like, so the truck's going to be able to go quite fast as well. More appropriate for, like, I don't know, killing infantry than, like, it's an anti-aircraft tank, but, yeah, it's for anti-aircraft work, but, I don't know, it looks like something out of a World War One movie. I don't know. But, yeah, that's gonna be a fun vehicle. It's not gonna be that useful for anything, but it'll be very fun. Now, there's only a few more tanks to look at. There's the not TU-51, SU-57. Quickly check that out. Basically an M3 half-track with a 57mm gun on it. 137mm at 0 degrees, 100 metres, 109 at 30 degrees, 33 at 60. What's the next shell? Is that even that much different? The next shell's less penetration, but because it's ballistic capped, I think it does more damage. 4 crew, gunner, loader, commander, driver. I'll give it a really quick test drive. I don't think it's going to be that much difference to the GMC, M3 GMC. It's just a Russian premium, basically. But, you know, we'll see how it goes quickly. Right, so we'll take a quick shot at the Panther, see if I can actually hit. Yeah, well, near enough to a hit. Test the speed quickly. Again, this thing doesn't look particularly well armoured. Take another shot just to see. Reloads fairly quick as well, so yeah, and we can penetrate the Panther side. I don't know, it seems quite a good tank, and with that reloading speed, I don't think this is with an upgraded crew or anything, because I'm just test driving. So if you put some points into your crew reloading skill, this would probably be quite a good tank. It's just it seems to be massively over penetrating everything, so that's probably going to be the main problem with it. Quickly check the arm of the gun shield. Yeah, 12mm, so it's not going to be well protected if I'm honest. The rest of the vehicles are premiums. The SU-76 seems to just be a reskinned normal SU-76, I think, but premium. Yeah, it's got some. I don't think there's much difference to it that I can see. Just seems to have a unique skin and premium. There's an IS-2 which is like that, the Revenge. If we can get that up. Again, seems roughly the same as normal IS-2s. I don't know if this is a 1944 or not. But again, unique camouflage or, you know, writing on it. We'll go back. Or D25T. Yeah, it's the same cannon. Just check the armour. 100mm, 120. Yeah, so I don't know if it's a model 1944 or not. And the T-34-85E, I think this is going to be I think this is another one with bolted on armour. Oh god, what the hell? Are they... Oh, I think these are those bed mattress things that are meant to disrupt heat or something. And they count as 5mm. Oh god. I don't know if it's had some bolted on armour at the front. I don't know, I can't really tell. 45mm. I don't know if the turret armour's had some bolted on armour at the front. Yeah, this seems a bit different. Yeah, I think you can see some of the bolted on armour. I don't know. I can't tell. Usually it's quite easy to tell because it's got all bolts around it and stuff, but I don't know, maybe they welded armour on. That's 90, 75 and 52. What's the normal 85? Oh, so it does have the same armour. What? That's... Okay, so it's just literally bed stuff that's been strapped to it. Like, are they going to actually make any difference? Maybe against heat shells they might. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of that. Maybe someone with more information can tell us. I don't know. It seems a bit odd. It looks like some armor's been bolted on the back, but I can't... Knowing me, I'm probably still wrong. So yeah, I can't really tell. I'll have to look at that tank in more detail another time. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it for tanks today. I don't know when the dev server's closing, but it's open today, April 23rd. I think it just said it's closing when they close it. They didn't give a specific time. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode, looking at the tanks on the dev server. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you like these sorts of videos. Leave feedback. Could always do with more feedback in the video, and I'll see you next time.